Hello, Thomas again, and today we're going to be speaking about, I'll be speaking about, to go to college or not to go to college. It's a big topic that everyone has to go through, well, mostly everyone that doesn't have rich fathers and or actually wants to go to college, is to decide whether or not they actually, want to go or what college to go to. Anyways, so I'll be discussing the positives and negatives of this. So, without further ado, um, let's just go ahead and put college over here and no college over here. This isn't perfectly aligned, but whatever. And let's say, first of all, the cost will be minus around $120,000 because of the fact that, well, that's on average how much college costs in the United States. Also, minus another 120,000 because you won't be working during that time. So let's just assume that the average person, which they do, makes $30,000 a year on salary, and for 4 years you could have been making that much money. So you've lost $120,000 basically. Sorry about that. And you gain an education. Over here, I really should have the default font on 18 before I did this. Anyways, over here, you have plus $120,000, plus another plus another 120,000, and minus the education. So basically, what we have here is we have money equals education, more money equals no education. But the thing is do you really need to spend this to get this? Does it really cost $240,000 just to get an education? Well, the answer is obviously no, it does not cost that much. I mean, anyone can read a book and teach themselves. However, that's not exactly what I'm going to be talking about. I mean, we know anyone can teach themselves. That's not the only way to get an education. But the thing is it really necessary? Is college really necessary? That's the basis of this video. And my answer to that is yes. And despite me talking badly about it, I'll explain why here. You need college because of the fact that no one will hire you, or no employer will look at you if you're actually aiming for a career path and not just a job or an occupation. No employer will actually look at you twice if you don't have at least an associate's degree. Now, it's unfortunate that that we live in a world where you have to pay that much money just to get a piece of paper. But initially, that's what it is. They might as well write it up like this. Because that's what it is. You're paying for that piece of paper. You're paying to say the university, a trusted university, to say, yes, this student has went through his blah 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 years, and therefore he deserves the right to be called blah 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 blah. He has been educated. You can obviously educate yourself, but why can't you test into it? Why does it take 4 years? Why do you have to learn with them? The answer, college. I don't want to say it's a scam, but I will say that it is an extortion act. What is an extortion act? Basically, an extortion act is something like, that doesn't work. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with OneNote. Anyways, let's just say problem. And down here is solution. Over here Um, let's say how to solve problem, like this being the actual physical solution right here, and this being how to solve it, how to come up with the solution. And over here, let's go ahead and put in what causes the problem. That's a little bit off center. There we go. So basically, if we go ahead and answer to all of these, you'll find out that the college has the answer to every one of them, which is, by definition, an extortion act. Plain and simple. If you look at the problem, right here, if you look at the problem is that you don't have an education. So basically what they say is, hey business, we can educate these people. You don't have educated people, we can make these educated people, and obviously you don't have to pay a dime for it. And in return, you get more elite workers. So they're creating the problem. How to solve the problem is you go through school to pay them money for the problem that they presented. Then they give you the solution by giving you the degree. And then they repeat the process and cause the problem. All of this together is called extortion. It's basically what the Mafia uses. I'm going brain dead. Can't figure out how to spell extortion. It's basically what the Mafia uses. For example, the Mafia will create. Okay, say the Mafia comes up to you and they say, you know what? I think you have a problem with protection with your business. And you say, I don't have a problem. They create the problem. They punch you in the stomach and then rob your store. And they say, we can solve your problem for a price. And you say, okay, because you don't want beat up again. So they give you the solution and give you the protection, and then they repeat to cause the problem to more people, and present the same thing. It's an extortion act. They're creating the problem and creating the solution. Anything that creates the problem and creates the solution, both is an extortion act. You should not, nothing should do that. Because then they're just taking advantage of people. It doesn't matter what the problem, how good the problem seems like, it's still being there. When you boil it down, it's still the Mafia doing it. It doesn't matter if they're giving you protection. They're still creating that threat. They're still being the threat. And in this case, it's college. Colleges, universities all over the world, they're creating the problem, they're creating the solution, and they're profiting it like never before from it. But despite all of this, you still need it. I'm not going to tell people to not go to college. Why? You know, some people might say, well, Thomas, why would you preach out against college but not tell people to go to it, but then tell people to go to college? Well, because of the fact that you obviously still need it. There's hardly a highway option, or even a low-way option. And the problem is already being dealt with by this thing called the internet. Now, I'm going to provide a link in the description over to what I'm talking about, just as a large familiar example, but also things like myself, which I hope to become, to be able to educate people. People slowly start weaning out of actually having to need a degree. They'll just need a degree by simply taking a test to prove that they know something, rather than having to have someone wipe their butt and educate them. And as far as I know, the only way to get a degree is through 4 years and actually doing it, not just simply knowing and educating yourself. Anyways, this has been Thomas Warnick, and hopefully you found this enlightening or something of that nature. Anyhow, peace.